Roger, the big initiative, I keep hearing it from members of the competition committee over the last few weeks, is pace of game and how you want to speed things up and maybe make things flow a little more smoothly. That's been a topic, though, for a while. We've been hearing games are too long, there's too many interruptions. Why now to change things?
This effort's not as focused on the length of the game, though, Judy. This is focused on what's happening outside the plays. How fast we get the ball set, the number of breaks, the number of intrusions, so that fans can focus on the action. That's what we really want them to do. Is the compelling nature of our game is so wonderful. Don't intrude on that by having interruptions that are unnecessary or unnecessarily lengthy.
What are the things you specifically want to see removed?
I have a long list. Some of them are going to make it and some of them aren't for now. But, listen, I start as a fan's perspective. And I sit and watch the games at home, and I make a long list of things that trouble me or concern me that we could improve on. And I also do it when I go to the stadium. And we've talked about that. So we've identified replays. We're in the replay room, and they come here. We're going to centralize that decision right in this room. And Dean Blandino and his staff will make that. The referee will still have input, so instead of having them run over to the wall, we're going to have a Surface tablet brought to them, and they'll be able to look at the play and provide input and communicate with Dean, but come to the right decision, but much more quickly. And frankly, once a decision is made, announce it. Because when I'm in the stadium and the referee's standing there with a decision made and he doesn't make it for another minute while television's out, that's tough for the fans in the stadium.
So what does that mean? You would come back out of a commercial immediately, or how would that work?
We're going to work with our networks on that. There's also a concept of trying to bring new innovation to the advertisement. And we may go to a double box so that the fans know they're not missing anything. And the referee still isn't ready to make a decision. And then when he does, it's possible that the networks would complete a commercial and then cover that. So,
one thing that caught my eye is the idea of sort of like a shot clock, that after an extra point, there would be a clock running to get everybody lined up for a kickoff, for example. How long would that be? How would that work mechanically?
Well, that's what the competition committee's been studying. When I met with them in Indianapolis, we laid that out. I think there was a very positive reaction to that. Most of the players that are on the extra point, maybe a tight end, maybe the kicker, of course, are not on the kickoff team. So the special teams coaches will have to get prepared for the kickoff team and get them out there. But, of course, this is when you don't go to a commercial break. But there's a lot of wasted time in there where, again, we want to take that out of the game. And this does not affect the 156 plays during the game. This is all about outside of the plays and what we can do to try to take that downtime out.
Is this sort of a response to, we always think of all of us having shorter attention spans. you want to keep the action.
You don't want to give them an excuse to step out and do something else. I think the number of commercial breaks is something else that we heard very loud and clear. It's not necessarily the length, it's the number. So we're going to reduce that by 25%. We're going to add a commercial into each of those. But we saw in our testing with our fans that they actually didn't even notice that. What they notice is the number of breaks. So we're going to go back to a theory. We'll have 4 commercials per quarter. And I think we'll do that in a way that we'll be able to get in and out quicker. And I think that will save a significant amount of time also.
And you're going to try to eliminate those, like commercial break, kickoff, commercial break.
Yeah, we call those the double ups. They drive me crazy. They drive a lot of people crazy. They actually happen about 27% of the time. Your reaction may be the same as mine. Feels like more. Everybody says the same thing. And I think that's why you want to get rid of it.
How about going back to centralized replay? That was something that's been discussed over the years. Why now to make that change?
Well, it's because 2 years ago we developed a technology so that we could have Dean involved with the decision, and he can help guide them to, this is the video that has the best view, and this is what we see, and he's able to confirm that with the referee. We're now going to have Dean make the final decision, but that same feedback will occur. The referee's going to talk to Dean, say, this is what we had on the field, this is what we saw. He'll look at the same replay that Dean is looking at, and Dean will make the final determination.
Having full-time referees, does that help the consistency part of
We don't know
officiating as
that,
well?
but we're going to, we negotiated to get 17 full-time officials. We're moving on that right now. We're going to hopefully have several of them on board prior to this season, and we'll see whether that has the impact. It's yet to be determined, but we do see some benefits to it because, again, it goes to that consistency. As they go back out into the field, they're armed with what we're looking for. They've seen plays from all around the league. They have a better understanding, and they can share that with their crews. And we see that as very much a positive development.
I know you said this isn't necessarily about the length of the game, but what's your ideal length of a game? Would you like to maybe trim a little time off?
Well, by virtue of the fact that you're taking downtime out, which is already calculated in the length of the game, we're 3:07 and change this year. It was down about a minute. We think we probably can get pretty close to 5 minutes of downtime out of the game. So that would bring you somewhere in the 3:02 range. That would be very successful if we could get to that point. But again, not just the length. We want to make sure we're taking the right things out of the game, the things that are not compelling to our fans.
So another big topic of conversation, always interesting to fans, is a possible celebration rule, whether it's a crackdown or actually a softening. Where are you on celebrations and a potential video showing celebrations?
Well, I'm not sure a video is going to be the answer. For us, and we did hear this in our fan research very clearly, the fans do want to see our players be able to celebrate. What we've always tried to do is find a line between that natural celebration and something that's prolonged in the way where it could be taunting, it could lead to unsportsmanlike act, or somebody responding to it on the field in a negative way, and it escalates. Those are the things we try to watch out for. We had as a point of emphasis in the competition committee report last year. Quite honestly, I think we should revisit that and bring that back a little bit and provide a little bit more movement there. Just find that balance between good sportsmanship and allowing our players to really show who they are and how excited they are when they do score.
That would also, I would think, take a little bit of the decision-making out of the officials' hands, that they don't.
Well, that's the big issue for me, ultimately, is, I want our officials focusing on the important things in the game of the competition and making sure we get their focus completely on getting the calls correct and not judging whether somebody's dancing outside the rules or inside the rules. It is part of what they have to do, but I would like to make it a little more clear for them and a little bit easier for them, so again, their attention could be on what I consider to be the more important matter.
Thanks, Roger.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Always good to be with you.